Hi everyone, it is Nicole and I'm back tonight with a little late night chit chat with you and me. So, tonight I want to talk about fat admirers and I want to talk about like dating and all that good shit that goes with it. And misconceptions that fat girl lovers have about us and our self-esteem. At least from my perspective and my self-esteem. Now, it may be true for some people, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. All right. So, once upon a time, I was a younger girl. I was very susceptible to wanting to fit in. I've said this in my previous video about having confidence and all that. And sure, I dealt with a lot of like low blows. I dealt with some people that were really crappy to me, like guys that I went out with that were really crappy to me. And I think if I had been a different size girl, I don't think they would have been that disgustingly crappy to me. We live and we learn. Sometimes we don't necessarily always know that a guy is not open about his preferences. I just recently dealt with a guy who was stringing me along for a year and a half on social media, on my text, through text. We would text each other, and through Facebook Messenger. This is a guy that knows me from my hometown from back in the high school days. He went to a neighboring high school. We have a lot of mutual friends. He friended me on Facebook and told me how much he thought I was gorgeous, this, that, the other thing. Nevertheless, he really, we were going to meet, we were going to do this, we were going to do that, and just really kept backing out and getting cold feet on every time we'd make a plan to get together and whatever like that. And I think ultimately it was about the pressure of his friends finding out, and I don't think he really I think he just had too much nerves and too much cold feet about it, and wouldn't be honest about that. He had only been with one big girl from what he claims, and I don't even know how true that claim is, So right there, that's a red flag. If somebody hasn't been with a lot of the women he claims to have this huge love for, that's a red flag. But here's the thing. In some ways, a fat admirer or closet guy, a guy who's in the closet about liking big chicks, okay? I hate fat admirer. It's like, because it so dehumanizes the female body. It's like fat, and then like you are admiring fat. Big chick lover, let's put it that way. Big girl lover, okay? A lot of guys will date big girls or hook up with big girls. You know what? It really depends. Sometimes you just want that hookup. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat that. Sometimes you just want that hookup. And I have had boyfriends that have loved me for the size that I am. I have. But I've also had hookups. And some guys have been so really into my size, like a little, almost made me feel like uncomfortable, I've had all flavors of guy there, you know what I'm saying? And I don't mean that in any kind of nasty way. I'm just saying I've had every type of big girl admirer. Let's put it that way. A lot of them will say to me, like, I'll have a conversation. I am very selective about the guys that I will talk to online. In fact, I don't talk to guys online anymore. I stopped that shit probably back in like 2008. I will not have conversations with men online because they all start out sexual, and they usually within minutes want you to watch them on cam doing stuff to themselves. My time on the internet is not to entertain you. It's my private time, my personal time. I'm sidetracking. But that's like, or they want to have fun, they want to, whatever, or they want to talk. I'm very guarded about giving out my phone number. I'm very guarded about giving out my personal contact information. I don't want people to have that without me screening them and feeling them out to see if they're cuckoo or not. Because, I mean, as hard as this is to believe, because a lot of people think that females are the ones with mental problems. And listen, I'm not saying that chicks don't have mental issues, but we're not going to discount that men don't also have issues. And I'm starting to see that there's a lot more men with issues. And, a perfect example of that is the Instagram account by Felipe. Okay, just go look at that account and you'll see all of the craziness that goes on there. And honestly, I think a lot of those responses are due to narcissistic injury. But whatever, I'm not even getting into that. So I am protective of myself. I don't want a crazy in my personal life. I had an ex-boyfriend back in 2011 who came back into my life, and he was dealing with some major psychological shit. And I don't want that put on me, because he was a determining factor in what started me to really turn on myself. And it didn't manifest right away, but it took some time. And by then I couldn't connect why I was feeling the way I was feeling about myself. So he projected a lot of his insecurities on me, but he was dealing with a lot of stuff up here. Not getting into it. So I am very careful about who I let into my life. And the minute I see crazy behavior, whether it be on a dating site and the stuff that's being said in email, and if people are too pushy, too fast, I have a feeling out process, and I'm going to weed you out, and I'm going to communicate with you through email. And if you don't want to communicate with me through email, then that's where it ends, because you're not going to progress to those next levels. It's going to take some time to get into there and be able to communicate with me. That's how it is, because I don't want to go through the trouble of having to block you and erase you from my phone or whatever, to keep you from contacting me and invading my life and being a stalker. Okay, this is my experiences. Don't want to deal with it anymore. So over the years, one of the things I have said, because I'm very perceptive, I'm very sensitive. And when I say sensitive, I don't mean that my feelings get hurt. I mean that I am sensitive to what is going on around me, and I perceive things that are not being said. I perceive a lot, and I'm processing a lot of stuff to get a feel of things, and even particularly stuff that's not said. And having dealt with so many guys over the years and chatted with them and all this stuff, there are particular things that men will say that are just like, it's like somebody wrote a textbook. Here, you want to have sex with a fat girl, say this. And if that doesn't work, well, then just say this, and just say this and this and this and this. And, so I'll be like, what do you like about big girls? And I get the canned answer that every other guy has told me before. And I'm like, okay. And you start to see that there's a pattern. There's a pattern that they follow, the same questions and everything like that. And you realize they're disingenuous. They're not being genuine. They're just telling you what they think you want to hear. And it may not be anything that I want to hear, because I already knew about myself. Do you know what I mean? So here they are telling me stuff because they're trying to bed me. Okay, so how's that working out for you? But then I get called a hoe. All right, so Instagram by Felipe. Just look at that and you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm telling you. So that's one thing. So I would ask these questions. Like, what is it about me that you're so interested in? What is it about me that you like? And it was so weird that so many guys would take that simple question and be like, why are you so insecure about yourself?